Full cat.
And that's when Andrew Garfield came out the portal.
You were looking for Spider-Man?
Dude, I'm not even kidding. The whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm like so nervous that they're gonna fuck it up. Every minute, and then every time we got a reveal, I was like, "All right, they delivered. Now don't fuck it up."
I was extremely worried.
Oh, because I just thought I was like, because really since Endgame, the MCU is kind of, I don't want to say it's sucked, but it's been, because like Black Widow was the shits.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say shit, and I was like, no.
No, the shit sucked.
I actually have not watched it.
Don't. It's a colossal waste of time. Which actually, fun fact, Spider-Man No Way Home does what Black Widow and a bunch of other MCU movies tried to do, but fucked up. And insofar as have a story where by the end of it, which you could make the argument that the events of No Way Home didn't have any consequences, even though they did because they did it right. But Black Widow, for example, is a throwaway movie because, like, ultimately we know what happens to her, so we know she's not going to die in this movie,
right?
Because it's set before
so
Endgame.
You can't really like.
So there's no actual sense of, like, I guess there are stakes for some characters, but not for Black Widow, the namesake of the film. So it's really hard to get invested when you're like, well, we know she's going to live through this.
I'm gonna live until I die. By the way, I'm back.
He is back.
I had a couple weeks of uncertainty. I actually was more of a bitch having COVID.
Oh, that's really cool. I just now noticed that if you move your head over the logo, it covers it.
Oh, yeah. It's green screen. Just kidding. It's magic. I'm magic now.
Yeah,
I opened Portal.
He stole Doctor Strange's little bracelet thingy.
But no, I had COVID and it sucked. But I was actually just being a bitch because I did go to the hospital and get Regeneron, but it did nothing for me. Not saying it won't do anything for anyone else.
And that's when he went to Rule King and got the ivermectin.
And it worked. No, actually, I had no other medication besides like your standard.
He doesn't have worms anymore.
We got rid of those pesky worms. But I was freaking out because I said I couldn't breathe, and I was actually having more of a panic attack. And my oxygen was 99. I could breathe just fine, and they said my lungs sounded very healthy, and they didn't even sound COVID-y at all.
It was the ivermectin.
That's what the nurse said, COVID-y.
I should probably mention that the ivermectin is a joke. That is not medical advice. Like, YouTube will flag us again.
Talk to your doctor. That's what you should do. Don't listen to us. Talk to your doctor.
Exactly, because we're morons.
But I did find something out about the
our mascot's a
Regeneron,
fucking
how
chimp.
it works.
Yeah?
Yeah, it attaches to the spike proteins in the virus, and guess what it does? It's supposed to lessen the viral load. So you still have the virus, but it's supposed to lessen the symptoms.
But it stops it from replicating?
Yeah. And it works, supposedly, with the knowledge they have, it works in like 8 out of 10 people. I was lucky too.
That's pretty good.
I was lucky.
Oh, where it doesn't work?
Yeah, because I was still very ill afterwards, and it didn't get better. But anyway, we didn't come here to talk about that.
We came to talk about
Spider-Man.
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 Dub whatever Spider can.
Just reminded me of somebody.
Spider Pig?
No.
Oh. Oh, no. No.
Yes.
No. Phony Noni!
No.
Oh, no.
What the hell is that? Pony Noni. No. Fucking, Marzipan.
Oh, I thought that's where you were going originally.
Homestar Runner.
Oh, no, that's where I thought you were going.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. It's been a long time since I've watched all this stuff. Got an email hoping from a female. I think we've talked about Homestar Runner.
We did. We briefly touched on it. There's actually a clip. There's a clip on the channel where we talk about Trogdor the Burninator. Trogdor!
Yes, I'm aware. I have luscious locks.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, so yeah, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Spoiler alert!
Great
but if you
movie.
haven't seen it yet, then
Watch it.
You
What are you
probably
waiting on?
aren't interested if you haven't seen it by now, because
Nah.
we were late to the game.
Or you were sick or didn't have time.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, it's going to be in theaters for ages.
Either way. That was a shoot nice reference.
It's worth the watch, and I will say this is one of the few times I'm really picky with movies, and I have a habit, as you know, of ruining them. But this is one of the rare occasions where not only was it as good as I thought it was going to be, as good as I hoped it was going to be, it was better. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
So good. We're gonna go chronologically on this one. We're gonna keep it.
Yeah, because I'm also going to go really in depth and read too much into certain things. But I mean, this movie was almost flawless. There are some little things, but not like there's one. I shouldn't call it a huge plot hole. There is a plot hole in the movie, but it doesn't ruin it per se. But anyway, so we start out with our young hero, which I would just like to take a second because he's technically not in this movie, but Jake Gyllenhaal is Mysterio. Everybody, fucking phenomenal.
You think?
Oh, dude, I thought he was great.
Oh yeah, he was good.
It was the only time I didn't think I was like, wait, Mysterio's a good guy, and then. Plot twist.
So when
I was actually rooting for Mysterio at one point.
When Jake Gyllenhaal's character died, did he go up to heaven to meet Heath Ledger?
That's not funny. I mean, it is funny.
In a tent. Just kidding. I really like Heath Ledger. He's a great actor.
Dude, and I'm gonna say this out loud.
That was a bad joke.
I mean, not
funny.
Really. It's kind of at this day and age.
It's
the Gen
well
Z,
past.
the Gen Zers don't get it. I'll just tell you that right now. They don't get the reference. But I will say though, this is in reference to the film that you're referencing. It is a really good movie, actually. It's on.
He's talking about Brokeback Mountain.
Yes, I am. It's a really, really good movie, actually. They made a very big deal about it at the time.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie. It was basically
it's a really, really good movie, actually. But the mainstream
the gay thing, it was literally just two people who wanted to be together
and couldn't. Like, it's the definition of a modern day tragedy, and that's why it's such a great movie. But the media just got a hold of it because they were like, "Look, gay people." And
yeah,
it's like,
think about it now. It's like they'd be like, "So."
Oh, I mean, if that movie came out today, it would just be like.
Flop.
I mean, it may very well because people just wouldn't care. Because now, if it came out now, they'd be like, cowboys? Who cares?
Cowboy.
I want to be a cowboy, baby.
All right, so Spider-Man. Obviously, it starts out with Jake Gyllenhaal kicking the bucket. Mysterio.
Doxing Spider-Man.
Doxing Spider-Man, and he comes out and... Of course, fucking J. Jonah Jameson. Gotta love his actor. What's his actor's name?
Oh God, I knew you were gonna. Fuck, I know his name too. That's sad.
Spider-Man is known as anyone else, or he's just a teenager.
That's not bad. Oh, God damn it, I know his name too. This is sad.
Meat. We'll send you Christmas meat.
I trust my barber.
Freelancer. It's a perfect job for a young man your age.
Oh my God, I know his name. This is sad. I'm just looking it up real quick. Another media.
He has a very legit name.
I know.
I can't remember it, but it's very, very legit.
Jesus Christ, come on.
Hey Google, who plays J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man?
Jonah Jameson was played by J.K.
Yeah, J.K.
Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. I always marveled because it was like, marveled.
I was wanting to let him go super fast with his iPhone.
But yeah, J.K. Simmons, who was
J.K.
flawless. J.K. I mean, you really couldn't replace him if you were gonna have J. Jonah Jameson in the movie.
Fudge, no, dude. And even if he dies, they better figure out a way to freaking bring him back.
Which, I mean, J. Jonah Jameson
I'm talking J.K. Simmons.
He gets a bad rap, but if you remember in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man when Goblin comes
He's a hero.
in, well, yeah, because he didn't sell out Peter at great personal risk to himself.
And on top of that, remember he's like, Oh, we took him for granted.
Yeah,
I
when
drove
Spider-Man
him out. Blah, 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 blah. He's a menace. He's a thief.
I want my suit back.
I know, right, dude? The extra scenes.
That's
where
hilarious.
He's so.
But
Anyway.
I also love the fact that they made it where he's like a kind of an Alex Jones figure.
Yeah, but
I
he's
liked
actually
that.
popular.
Well, he wasn't at first because you remember they do that cut where it's his green screen in like his shed,
I gotta say,
kind of like this.
I gotta say though, Alex Jones, if he wouldn't have went off the deep end on, we won't even name it. If he wouldn't have went on deep end on that, he'd probably be famous right now.
Yeah,
Like, really
well,
famous,
Alex Jones is very good at shooting himself in the foot. He really is. But I did like that touch where they made.
Yeah.
That'll get
I
us.
fucked my sister.
That'll get us flagged.
Oh man, I didn't think about that.
No. Then you threw in the "I fucked my sister" thing. So now the Democrats will
shit.
find it funny.
Yeah, we're gonna get some super right wing and be like, "No, we don't." What do you think, Patty?
Donald Trump
don't.
don't-
Ask Mom.
Donald Trump don't even have a sister. Shows what you know, motherfucker. Actually, I don't know. Does he have a sister? I don't know. Nor do I particularly care. But
So, Peter's identity is revealed, and then he's literally, where is he at the time? Oh, dude, the part when he goes down and picks up MJ because everybody's starting to be like, you know who he is, blah 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 blah. And then she's just like, wait a minute, what? And Peter just jumps down, and then that's the first time he web swung with her, wasn't it?
no, they did it at the end of Far From Home, briefly.
Yeah.
It was like the last shot.
Yeah, but no. Okay, yeah, you're right. The part when he forgets that she doesn't have superhuman abilities, and he's got her on that high thing, and she's just like, "Hello."
I also want to shout out because this is like dudes get this, but when Ned calls him and they're just like, dude, that is a legitimate guy conversation.
Well, because it's like, do I freak out because I'm famous, or do I freak out because everyone knows me?
They cover the whole spectrum. That's just overwhelming. He just needs his best friend, but his best friend doesn't know what to do either. So he's
And
just like,
on top of that,
dude,
all the people, the conspiracy theorists, like the teachers when they go back to school. or actually, before we get to that part,
we know what you did in Mysterio.
when he's webbing when he's pulling down all the shades in his apartment, and he's and he goes to web that one. That seems like that probably was an ad lib, and he assumed they would put in CGI.
Probably.
Or he was told to do it. I don't know. It seems kind of.
I don't know. They
Tom Holland.
Well, from what
need to
I
come clean on
understand,
that
they're
one.
pretty liberal with the ad-libbing because apparently the bulk of his interactions with Mysterio in Far From Home were basically not necessarily ad-lib, but like they kind of let them go with it. Because I guess they weren't supposed to be originally in the script. They weren't supposed to be as buddy-buddy.
Who?
Mysterio and Spider-Man. But then I guess they just got along so well that they amped up the broness.
Yeah, which I was like Mysterio in the at least the cartoon. I'm not gonna say the comics because I didn't read the comics.
Well, there's several versions of Mysterio.
Well, the Mysterio in the '94 Spider-Man animation, whatever you want to call it.
Spider Sense.
He seemed to be Peter Tingle, but no, he seemed to be like more of like an anti-hero. Mysterio did.
Yeah.
And this one, he was just a villain.
Well, but he started out as looking like a hero, so it kind of made sense.
That's
but
right.
So fun fact about the Peter Tingle. This is a story that's probably only funny to me, but so the first time I saw Spider-Man Far From Home, I was actually in Mexico at the time. So obviously I'm seeing the movie in Spanish, so I'm getting a lot more of it than I thought I would. But they do the Peter Tingle joke. But obviously I don't understand because it's a different turn of phrase. But so everybody in the theater starts just erupting with laughter.
And you're sitting there like,
well, but you got to understand, like, Peter isn't a euphemism for for penis in Spanish, so they had to like.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they got the joke across, but I didn't understand it, so I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then like they're trying to explain it to me, and they're like, see, the Spanish word for da 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 is, and I'm like, I still don't get it. But then I saw it in English, and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it now. That's
Hold on.
funny.
You watched Spider-Man: Far From Home in Spanish before you watched it in English because you were in Mexico?
See,
Ah. I don't have anything to say to that.
I just have the same thing with Toy Story 4. I saw it in Spanish first. Oh no, wait, no, yeah, I saw it in Spanish first.
Vaya con Dios.
Basura?
I only remember that from King of the Hill. Vaya con Dios.
Oh shit.
Viacom. So, yeah, my lungs are still healing. Anyway, so, Peter Tingle.
Yeah, the Peter Tingle thing is happening.
Yeah. Where are we at?
We're just going all over the place. I
Keep lined up.
believe now we're at the apartment where he's fastening the windows.
I'm not gonna watch, but are you guys together? No, we're only here in spirit.
What do you mean you're not gonna watch, dude? You commented on it. You can see the video.
Hey Ben, watch. It's not working. I'm too fat. I'm just ahead. Hello.
Then maybe you should quit while you are. One of the greatest DBZ abridged lines ever. You want to come up here and say that? I am ahead. Then maybe you should quit while you are.
Was that that was
Android 16.
Android 16.
Oh, fuck. So anyway, the whole world knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
They know he has the Peter Tingle.
Yep, and I'm just going to take a moment to just point out one of the many things this movie did right, and they actually made MJ likable in this one.
Yeah, because it wasn't MJ, but I love Gwen Stacy.
I'm talking about, and this isn't a knock on Zendaya, because I thought I disliked Zendaya, then I saw her in some other stuff, and I realized it was just the way they had.
Ben said he didn't get to see the new movie, so he's not going to watch it. Dude,
Oh.
go watch it.
Go watch it, for
Like,
real,
seriously,
dude.
you get some free time on a Sunday, we'll all go watch it again.
Yeah, I'll go watch it again. Hands down. I will definitely.
But anyway, click off.
Yeah, you might want to stop now. But yeah, they make MJ likable.
But she's not a Mary Jane Watson, though.
Well, and that pretty much helped her. But even so, like even regardless, like
Well-
if that had been how they characterized Gwen Stacy in this
guys,
universe,
I'm
like just that character was so damn unlikable in the first two movies.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly the first one.
Annoying.
I'm just like, who's this bitch?
Yeah.
I was like, why does Peter even like her? She's awful.
It's all about a girl. The girl next door. That's me sitting next to her. Heck, I'd even take him. That's
me.
outside the bus.
Stop the bus!
But anyway, actually, MJ, though, if you think about this, her name's not Mary Jane Watson.
Michelle Jones Watson.
Michelle Jones Watson. So there are plenty of Watsons in the world. Peter, I'm getting to the end. I need to stop.
So this is kind of similar.
We're gonna come back to this.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to that, but I don't
Because
want
once we
to.
get
I
to
don't
that-
want to forget though, because this is kind of like what Smallville did
Yeah.
with
Yes.
because it's Lana Lane,
Yeah,
right?
Lana Lang.
Oh,
And
Lana
then-
Lang.
Yeah, because a lot of people get that wrong.
Oh, because the way they said it, I always thought it was
because they
Lana
don't
Lane.
really emphasize the G.
Yeah.
They say it's Lana Lang.
Oh, so it's Lana Lang, but you know they did it on purpose.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but the funny thing is though, Chloe was related to Lois Lane, right? Or was
I
it,
don't know. I
or
didn't
was it
watch
Lana?
Smallville.
I
thought it was
Smallville.
No, I need to. It's on the list. I wasn't a Superman fan until very, very
I
recently.
wasn't a Superman fan until I watched Smallville.
I've heard that from so many people. But anywho, where was I going?
Because Goku is always better. Just
I'm sorry. So here's the thing. I'm going to settle
Get
this.
stronger.
I'm going to settle this argument once and for all.
oh, here we go.
Goku cannot be beaten by a rock. Superman can. End of story.
Well, it depends on if his opponent is faster and stronger than him. Then he could pick up a rock and beat him with it. So technically,
I'm talking about
could.
kryptonite.
Well, you didn't specify kryptonite.
It's a rock. Well, and here's the other thing too. So if Superman,
Dwayne can beat him.
So here's the other way Goku can beat him. All Goku has to do is, if he doesn't have kryptonite, all he has to do is instant transmission them both to a planet that orbits a red sun.
Yep.
And then he's not even as strong as Krillin.
Gliese 581C,
Nerd.
I think, or maybe B.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking
Well, either
about.
of those planets, I think, orbit a red sun. Come on, man, get your shit together.
I don't fucking know. I'm too busy for this shit. Anyway.
He knows so much history, though. So
Yeah, everybody
we'll
has
take
their
it.
everybody has their particular areas of
I don't
interest.
display my knowledge as much.
This is true. It's actually behind me. You just can't see it because the green screen.
I might at the end of this.
He's magical.
At the end of this, I might pan to something in the works.
Yeah.
Well, it's not in the works. It's already working. But anyway, so back to Spider-Man.
I mean, it's all going to tie in because some of the things I want to talk about are like this movie does a really good job with exploring archetypes without making it obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very much like when I say this movie is almost perfect from a storytelling perspective, it's almost perfect.
I do have to give super credit to Tom Holland. He did an amazing job in all the movies so far. Like him as a character for Spider-Man, because they wanted to bring him in as a high school student and keep him in high school until.
Well, in this movie made me appreciate what they did before, because when they first brought Tom Holland out, there were some legitimate criticisms. Should have had more faith in the people behind the MCU because they've demonstrated that they're fantastic at long-term storytelling.
Hold on, though. I think, while I want to believe you, my name is Mulder, I want to believe you on that. I think they fucked up by getting rid of Andrew Garfield.
But that was Sony.
They didn't really get rid of him, though, because the thing is, they wanted to add Spider-Man to the MCU, but what I just said about him being a high school student, they wanted Spider-Man to be young and in high school, and then meet with Tony Stark and
correct,
and then be under Iron Man's wing, and that's exactly what happened. So
well,
they had to have a different.
I think even if the Amazing
fucking just brought it up again.
I think even if the Amazing Spider-Man 2 had done well, they still would have had to have had an MCU Spider-Man.
Why did it? I can't remember why it tanked so bad. I need to rewatch it.
Well,
I rewatched the original Amazing Spider-Man. It was so good.
I can tell you why it was bad. It's just some really, and none of this is Andrew Garfield's fault. If anything, Jamie Foxx in that movie is a mixed bag for me because I think that he's okay. I think that role was overcast. I think they could have used somebody smaller, not stature, but like.
I agree.
Somebody,
he was kind of way too.
He was too big of an actor to be in that spot, considering he spends half the movie as a CG character anyway. But I think because it was Jamie Foxx, like I honestly think this is true. I think it was in his contract that he had to have like a certain percentage of time on screen because there's a lot of Jamie Foxx in that movie, like unnecessarily so.
Kind of like Will Smith
in Suicide Squad. Which so here's the thing. I didn't hate
the movie.
I didn't hate it.
It was good, but they should just call it Deadshot.
I understand the criticisms, though. I totally do. But I also wasn't expecting cinematic masterpiece. But then the other problem is that this is my biggest problem with The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the fact that so allegedly Peter and Harry Osborn were friends, there were BFFs, except we never heard of them before. Like, and fucking Peter's girlfriend worked at Oscorp, like, and you're not bringing up Harry Osborn at all, like.
Well, I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I feel
he comes out of nowhere, and I remember
feel like they weren't friends.
They
knew each other. They knew of each other, and then they became friends. Sorry.
No. They talk about how they were really good friends when they were younger.
Well, then Well, because for one, their dads were friends.
Correct, but here's the thing: it comes out of nowhere.
So then, when Peter's parents disappeared, obviously they stopped being friends.
So did you know about the deleted scene from Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, how the mysterious man or whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. He comes to see. Right? Am I thinking
No,
of
when
the
his
same
dad comes back. So there's a deleted scene from
scene?
the
Does he
Amazing.
talk to Spider-Man?
No, he talks to Peter.
Well, that's why I don't know why I said
He's
Spider-Man.
Peter's at Gwen's grave, and then his dad comes up to him.
And then he say something like, "Stop digging."
No. I think it was like it's not mysterious. Like it's obviously his dad. And I watched that scene and I'm like, you know what? That honestly would have turned the entire movie around. Why the fuck did they take that out? It was the one thing that could have saved that movie. And I mean, just the way they did the Green Goblin was really sad because the Green Goblin needs more than like a third arc reveal.
And that really sucks because I really, really like Dane DeHaan.
Yeah,
He's
like
a freaking phenomenal actor.
the issue wasn't with the acting; the issue was the writing of that movie.
Yeah,
Because I mean, Jamie Foxx was good. It was just too much for
Yes.
such a minor
but
character.
with this new thing comes
Well-
great responsibility and possibly more Spider-Man movies.
Oh, there are rumors
There,
abound.
I hope and pray we get an Amazing
Dude, why-
Spider-Man 3, and I hope
Dude,
we
I
get
hope we get a Spider-Man 4 for real.
4. Oh no, I want them all,
I know, I want them all. And
and I want them all to come back together again, but with Madam Web,
dude, that's yeah.
because Madam Web can bring them together.
So wouldn't this be some cool shit? Check this out. So for those of you that don't know, all the Spider-Man, according to the comics lore, or at least some of the comics lore, all the Spider-Man incarnations are already interconnected in the multiverse via Madam Web, and that's how their spider sense works. And that's
And the funny thing is, remember when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in the movie? Remember they came and they said, "We felt like you needed help."
So they planted so many seeds in this movie, and some that I'm sure that even hardcore nerds didn't even pick up on because they're so subtle. Like, for example, they hinted at Ned becoming a villain because that's so going to happen.
Really?
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. In the comics, one of the people who was the Hobgoblin is Ned Leeds. He's not the original.
Well, hold on. This is the go Web go. No, this is the multiverse now. So
I know.
This
So I'm
man
not.
will
I'm
not become a fucking villain. He's a good guy.
No. He can.
He's gonna train. No, he's gonna train.
No. Imagine this though. Imagine this shit.
What you can imagine.
There's no limit to what we can imagine. That's an inside joke. But imagine this for one of the movies. So
Cider.
Ned doesn't know who Peter is anymore. But Peter does. Peter knows who Ned is. So imagine. And here's the thing. This is Tom Holland, and this is not a slight against Andrew Garfield in the least.
Wrap up this thought. We gotta get back on chronological.
Tom Holland might be my favorite Spider-Man now because of how he portrays not heartbreak but sadness. He's such an exceptional actor, and Andrew Garfield is too. But could you imagine Tom Holland pulling off, knowing that he has to fight his best friend who doesn't even remember who he is? I mean, that's just a gut punch.
Would be tough.
I mean, that's a great movie. That's a great movie.
Why'd you have to do that?
Like, God damn it, I want to see that movie so bad.
I don't want to see that. I want Ned to train with Wong. I want nothing more than Ned to become one of those guys. What are they? Monks?
I don't know, but Ned forgot all about that.
No, not true.
He would have had to have.
He forgot Peter.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So the thing is, his interactions with everyone else should still be there, which doesn't make any sense.
I still want him to become a villain, though.
It's like they need.
Still want him to become a villain.
That's one thing that bugged me about the movie. Just because they forgot who Peter was,
Right.
Did that erase all the actions that happened with Peter, or did that just erase Peter from those memories of those actions?
So one of the prevailing theory
That makes sense.
is that. So here's the prevailing theory, at least as far as I've seen. So the way that spell works is Okay, so this is a really, really nerd thing. So,
They're gonna forget you.
well, no. So,
Quit trying to change
do you
my spell, Peter.
do you know about? Do you know a lot about? You probably don't know this a lot about because I'm a fucking nerd. But so at Disney World theme parks and Disneyland, I believe, if there are areas that they don't want people to go to, they paint it a certain green color that they literally call "go away green." And what it does to
Green is not an inviting color.
well, this particular shade of green, normally green is, but this is like a grayish green, but it's literally called go away green, and they engineered it because when most people look at this paint color, their brain like disassociates and it just doesn't notice and it wants to look somewhere else. Like the color doesn't register. So the prevailing theory is that they basically did go away green on Peter Parker in everybody's mind. So like if their mind starts to drift to a memory, it just goes away. And like if it would be, so this would be like if they asked MJ and Ned why they were at the Statue of Liberty, they'd be like, "Oh, there were villains here, and we
Is
were."
this your opinion? Or did you read something on this?
No, I read something on this.
Okay.
This is the prevailing theory, and it makes the most sense to me. So like if you were to walk up to Ned and be like, "Why were you at the
How the
Statue of
spell
Liberty?"
works. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, be like, why were you at the Statue of Liberty? And he'd be like, "Well, you know, there were villains from another universe, and Doctor Strange was there, and he had to," and then, but he wouldn't remember certain details. Like he wouldn't be able to remember certain details because,
Like if the conversation had Peter in it.
well, he wouldn't remember Peter.
No, that's what I mean. So like if he was talking with Peter or anything was happening with Peter, they were trying to help him. Like, why were we there?
Like his mind would literally go away from it. He wouldn't be able to remember. Now, theoretically, you could force his.
You should have liked the fucking video.
Yeah, no shit. So theoretically, if you have the ability to control somebody's mind, you could force him. You could force his mind to dig into those memories. Theoretically,
That's the thing. These memories are still in their
they're
head.
there. That's what the prevailing theory is.
So the thing is, since Doctor Strange made that spell, he can make another spell to make them one person remember without hurting the universe. You would think.
Well, I don't know about that because the whole reason that spell came up is because everybody had to forget who Peter Parker. And not only did they have to forget Peter Parker was Spider-Man, they had to forget who Peter Parker
And another
was.
thing is, Doctor Strange's sympathy towards Peter, basically saying, "I don't want to do this to you."
Yeah.
At first, he was okay with it, and then
Well, but that was just making people forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man in one universe. Now he had to amend the spell so that everybody. So here's the other thing.
that's right.
So so everybody had to forget who Tom Holland's Peter Parker
Just
was.
can't leave well enough alone, can they?
No. But it was great because this is the great reset for Marvel that I didn't know how they were going to do. And they fucking did it in stellar fashion because I was like, what are they going to do after Endgame?
Well, and that gets back to Mary Jane. And
Yeah.
my thing is, since it's not Mary Jane Watson, he could
Michelle
still
Jones
meet-
Watson. Yeah, he might meet her
Mary Jane
cousin or
Watson.
something.
One may not be her cousin, man. Just be someone who has to share.
Well, I know, but her family name
That-
is Watson, but she says she doesn't go by Watson.
Yeah, so she might be adopted. She might have been adopted from another country.
That's
You know?
racist.
She was from Kenya.
I just had Zendaya.
Zendaya.
I was so disappointed when I found out it was Zendaya.
She's a good-looking girl.
She's like, I know it's boring. It's not Zendaya. It's just Zendaya, just like it's spelled.
Did I say Zendaya?
Yeah. I did for the longest time, too.
It's more exotic.
Yeah, I know, right? She should change it. Anyway.
Change it.
So where were we chronologically?
Oh God.
They were in the
Start of
apartment.
movie.
Still at the beginning.
So they were at the apartment. Peter was webbing the blind shut, and then
That was a hilarious moment, too, when they...
when Happy and May were breaking up. He's like, "Why are you crying?" We just broke up.
He's
He's
like, I just want to talk about your relationship.
Why are you naked? Why aren't you clothed?
Use protection. No, this isn't...
And then
man.
all the helicopters hanging around outside, and then who was it? The people that just like busted in and took them. Was it CIA?
No, they're the Department of Damage Control. In the movie, that's what they're called.
DODC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like how. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell on anyone's ears that are listening to on.
Subscribe.
But how they were talking about Fury and how he's been off world.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is he?
So I guess
We still don't know where he is.
Well, we don't know where he is, but we know how he was, because Peter was visibly confused because he's like, "No, I talked to him." Yeah, I did.
Scroll.
I think.
Yeah, because but the thing is, they weren't bad. They were good.
No, they're good guys.
Yeah,
but they can assume. But they can assume form. So that explains.
So
but that also explains why.
Fury.
That was one of the things that confused me in Far From Home. Was like, well, Fury could stop all this. Well, it wasn't Fury. That's why. That's why he had to let Peter handle it, because...
Wait a minute. Didn't Fury blip for 5 years?
Yes. But No Way Home... Far From Home was after Endgame.
No, I get that. But I'm just thinking...
Because Peter blipped for 5 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wait a minute. Ned and MJ, did they blip too?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, they established that in Far From Home.
Flash Thompson.
He blipped. It was... there was one older guy... Well, he was their age at the beginning, who was vying for MJ's affections, who was now like fucking 22. But they wiped everybody's memories, so it just looked like he was just old as fuck.
So wait a minute, they made him think that he was.
They
high
knew
school age?
they knew that something happened, but they didn't know specifically what. So like, for example, if you didn't blip, you were 5 years older, but you forgot everything that happened. So in essence, he was still 17.
That just got retconned though. If you think about it, with the Venom conversation with that guy, that bartender, he knew he blipped.
Yeah, they know about the blip. They were just calling it the blip, but they didn't know about... Well, but he did bring up Thanos, though.
Yeah, he knew everything.
But that happened in Endgame. Oh, wait, no. Wait, you're right.
Yeah, so that's weird.
Well, there are plot holes.
MCU, man, you better get those covered.
Hey, for as many movies as they've done, and as few plot holes, as they have...
Sorry, no other franchise right now can touch the MCU.
No,
Sorry,
and that's why
DC.
DC should just stop
I like
trying.
some of your movies, but you guys are not.
DC's
better make the Flash movie good.
DC is they're doing Flashpoint.
That's
So
weird.
so there's another thing. There's another hint of what was going to happen in this movie. The name of Flash Thompson's book.
Flashpoint.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
No, and that was a direct reference to Flashpoint Paradox.
Whoa. Shots
So
fired.
multiverse. Well, no, not shots fired. It's just a reference to multiverse.
Multiverse? That's not gonna happen. Multiverse. MCU and DC.
No. It's just a reference to the Flashpoint arc, where Flash accidentally. He doesn't travel back in time, but he travels to a different universe where Bruce and Martha Wayne were killed instead of Thomas Wayne. So Thomas Wayne is Batman, except he doesn't give a fuck about using guns. He's killing motherfuckers because he mad.
I think that we need to get Silver Surfer back up on screen.
Fuck no, Silver Surfer's lame. I said it. Silver Surfer,
I can't wait
fantastic.
for Deadpool to come around though.
Oh, dude, Deadpool all over the MCU, like
Because he breaks fourth wall.
I'm still on the campaign of ever since Stan Lee died. I want Deadpool to do the
Cameo.
Yeah, I want Deadpool to do the cameo, and you can even have Ryan Reynolds do him. I don't care. Just get him in there.
All right. Chronologically speaking.
We are still at the apartment. But there are helicopters outside, and they get taken by the Department of Damage Control. That's a funny bit. That series of scenes was done really well.
When they were talking to Ned, that was so funny. He's like,
I'd like to have my comments stricken from the record.
yeah, and that guy was just like,
Oh, he set him up, and I saw it coming from a mile away. I'm like, Ned, don't. He's setting you up.
he's like, let's get this guy a snack.
I love
He's
that.
obviously hungry. And I would be like, fuck you, dude.
He's like, so when Mary Jane, so when Michelle told you that Peter, whoa, I knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Oh, man, he had you. Don't talk to the cops without a lawyer.
You need to get a really good lawyer.
Which I had no idea that was coming.
No idea whatsoever. They kept shit under wraps.
Well, and that was genius because if you notice the way this movie is structured, it's surprise after surprise after surprise, and it
People
makes.
were pissed when Daredevil ended.
I think that's one of the ways I think they were kind of subtle. Well, they were subtly letting the audience know that, listen, we heard what you said about Daredevil, and we're sorry, so we're gonna fix it. And this movie is gonna enable them to fix it because of the establishment of the multiverse.
And did you notice Easter egg. Did you notice that there was a picture of
I
Fisk,
did notice that.
and it's the fucking Fisk from.
So
Daredevil.
here's another Easter egg. We're almost there. The scene where we passed this, but the scene where we're almost there. But I want to mention it before I forget it. Did you notice when MJ and Peter are on the rooftop at school, the graffiti on the wall that said Ditko? Yeah, there's graffiti on the wall that says Ditko. It's a reference to the comic artist, co-creator of Spider-Man, I believe.
Oh, nice.
I noticed that. I think the second time I watched it.
I couldn't remember who the co-creator was.
Yeah, Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Which Ditko just created everything in comics.
What's another Easter egg I noticed?
Well, Tobey Maguire's in the movie.
Seriously, like, everybody was like, Andrew Garfield came in, and we're like, oh.
Oh, there was literally like instant relief.
And then, but the thing is, Andrew Garfield was in the fucking Spider-Man suit, and anyway, so he walks in, and he's just like, blah, 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 you know, they go through their whole spiel. But then they open up another portal, and there's Tobey Maguire in his youth pastor outfit.
That was such a good joke.
That was so funny. He's like, so are you going to go dressed as a cool youth pastor, or do you have your suit? And he's just like,
I don't have a Spider-Man suit on under.
I do.
Well, and like there were so many subtle nods to the other movies. Like, again, Tobey Maguire talking about his back pain.
Oh, my God.
It's like, oh, my God.
Oh, my back.
Well, and then even Norman Osborn, you know, I'm something of a scientist. Dude, the way he did. Okay, so that was.
I'm somewhat of a scientist.
But here's the thing.
Myself.
Here's the thing. They gave them some shit for the way he said it. I'm like, how else could he say it? Because it has to be a little tongue in cheek.
Well, the thing is, everybody in our theater laughed at that.
Well,
and I did too because it was fucking
because
hilarious.
it's funny.
It sounded more like a joke.
It's a fucking meme.
But I watched it again, and the people didn't laugh, and I was like, "You
Fuck them.
all suck."
They've already seen it though, for the most part.
Well, it's 3D, so it sucks.
I will admit, when like every one of those surprises I've been like he said the thing.
He said the thing.
He said the thing from that one time.
Unlock the thing. I didn't ask for a cage match.
I got you for 3 minutes.
Oh, who got you that? Your husband? Jokes that would not work in 2021.
No, it's the human spider.
Going nowhere.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Where you going?
Bone saw. Bone saw.
Bonesaw is relieved.
Oh my god.
I rewatched all of those.
Where are you going? Staying away from you.
So, but anyway, so Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come in, and we're both giddy because
And they're
we're
just
schoolgirls.
they're just flawless.
I want to make desperate love to a schoolboy. And it was so good though because like honestly.
Oh my god.
You know, I will say though, the best part of waking up, the
best part of waking up
of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was his retorts. They were so fucking good.
Well,
the guy with the small knife, hands down one of the greatest scenes. Oh my god, it's my
is that a
weakness,
knife? Is that a real knife? It's my weakness. Is small knives.
And honestly, when he did the like head turn, when he like puts them all up. And he's going to see, check his wrist to see if it's the guy who killed Uncle Ben.
So
when he turned his head like that, he looked menacing.
Well, and this is why Andrew Garfield is such an amazing actor. And then there's another scene on the bridge after he brings the boy up barely saves the boy's life and then gives him back to his dad. Dude's wearing a mask. You cannot see his face. Yet Andrew Garfield was so good at conveying emotion behind a mask. And it's one of those moments where you get the fact. Like, just in his body language, it's relief, exhaustion, like, it's all there. And you can't even see his face. Bravo.
Yeah, they did it. He did an excellent job. Like,
I still, one of my favorite scenes from The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, is the Uncle Ben death scene. Not because Uncle Ben dies, but just because of the way it's done. Like, Andrew.
I don't know why I'm laughing at.
I don't either.
No, dude. I think it was the Peter. I felt so bad when I laughed at that because
I don't think he said anything.
No, it was the first. It was the first Uncle Ben.
Oh yeah. The Tobey Maguire one.
And
I
then,
mean, they all do things really, really well.
I honestly, my favorite Uncle Ben was Martin Sheen.
Yeah, I think he did. Those are my bowling trophies.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, his comedy was funny.
Well, it is Martin Sheen. I mean,
Martin Sheen.
Those are my bowling trophies.
The presidents, Kennedy, Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen.
Gee, that's President Kennedy, you idiot. Oh my
I
God.
played Kennedy once.
Same difference.
Yes, we know a lot of movie quotes.
Yes, we do.
I probably know more than him, and I'm not trying to say.
I don't know. I think I probably know more obscure ones because I watch a lot of like
Obscure movies.
weird ass movies. Well, not weird. Like they were mainstream like 50 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't watch. I don't watch old movies. Well, mainstream 50 years ago was 1970.
Okay, more than 50 years ago. What was it? Oh God, 80 years ago. No, 60 years ago. My bad. No, fuck. Yeah, 60.
1940?
Yeah, in 1940s. Some of them, not all of them.
Tell us what movie, Jake.
Oh, I'm thinking of Casablanca, but
That's what I was.
there's other ones.
Where
but-
we at?
Still in the Department of Damage Control.
No, we got away from there.
Yeah, we did. I was just saying I like the comedy in those scenes.
We're past.
So this is when they go back to school, or they
no,
move in.
when technically we were starting back to school.
They move into Happy's, the Happy Pad.
Yeah, why did Happy have that robot? Why didn't it just stay at Tony
That was Tony Hawk's. Well, because Iron Man's dead, dude.
Tony Stark. Dude, Tony Hawk should be the new Iron Man. Yes.
No, Tony Hawk should be the new Silver Surfer.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Super Spider Iron Lung.
Super Spider Iron Lung. No, that was Tony Stark's first robot.
Was it his first robot?
Yeah, that was the one that was always fucking up.
Come here, stupid.
Exactly.
I love how bring back Tony Stark. Bring back.
See, here's the thing: they technically can.
Because of the fucking.
Because the multiverse. Although he would forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Did everyone across all universes forget?
Well,
They
okay,
forgot who
Tom
Peter Parker was.
Tom Holland's Peter Parker. They had to forget who that Peter Parker was.
That's not entirely true.
Well, we don't know.
Think about that though. Tom Holland could have fucked up Peter Parker for every fucking Peter Parker across the universe by that.
Potentially,
fucking
but the
spell.
only reason I think it was only him.
Actually is because Doctor Strange was only within that universe.
Yeah, because it
So
all started.
only
It all
about-
started because of that Peter Parker.
Yes.
So
okay.
theoretically, now here's the interesting part. So theoretically, since, oh no, I guess they would have been. See, this is where multiverse gets really fucked up. So theoretically, the Green Goblin that we saw in No Way Home is not the same Green Goblin that Tobey Maguire. I guess he didn't kill him, but you know what I mean. Because Tobey Maguire was taken to that universe from his time. Well, maybe. So we don't know.
See, that's another thing is time.
Yeah.
That was a little misconveyed in the movie because it wasn't explained. But obviously they don't know, so how can they explain it? Because all those characters were brought before their death.
If they died, if they hadn't died, it was from
but
whatever.
Sandman didn't die. Remember, he just took off.
Correct, but he was. Well, yeah, you're right.
At the end of Spider-Man 3, he just was like,
Oh,
"Sorry,
shit.
Peter." And
There's
took
another.
off.
There's another plot hole.
Sorry.
That's how I got the scrape on my chin.
But and then who else was there who didn't die? Well, actually, all the others died.
Yeah, all the others died. Well, we never saw Doc Ock die, but it's implied. Well, actually, yeah, we did. Never mind.
Peter, don't tell Harry.
But so theoretically, so let's assume for a moment that each universe has a linear timeline.
Hold on. Keep that thought.
It's up there.
Did Green Goblin? Did Norman Osborn say Peter, don't tell Harry?
He didn't say Peter, don't tell Harry. He said, don't tell Harry. And then
Didn't MJ in the beginning of that movie says yes and don't tell Harry?
Yes.
What
She
the
did.
fuck? Okay, I just had to get that out of there for a second.
Whoa.
Anyway,
So let's assume that. So we've got.
yes, and don't tell Harry.
So we've got the Tobey Maguire universe, but it's on a linear timeline. So when did that movie come out? 2001.
2000.
2000. So Harry Osborn dies in the year
They
2000.
say
Hero can save us. So Harry Osborn dies in the year 2000 in that universe.
Yes.
But Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker is still alive as of 2021. No, 2020. So they're pulled from the same universe, but at two different points in time. So if that's the case, now I'm thinking in like.
So would that mean,
I'm thinking in four
would that
dimensions
mean
here.
the multiverse, when it comes as a whole, is not linear structured?
Well, see, that's what I'm supposing. I'm supposing that each universe, there's multiple universes, but each universe is following a linear timeline.
But also another thing is you have to think, even though Peter helped these people, they're still getting ready to die.
Correct, but I'm getting
So
there.
is it like right there before the glider's getting ready to fucking impale Green Goblin? Or is it like a little bit before where he could be like,
Well, so
Peter, no, it's okay. I'm
so-
sorry. I'll just go to jail now because I killed people.
So if we're to believe Dr. Octopus, the last thing he remembers, I think it's shortly before their imminent demise.
The power of the sun
In the palm of my hand. That's another
I heard him
callback
say that
line.
fucking 10 times. I was like, shut up.
Well,
Doc.
so let's. Oh no, the lizard didn't die.
No, he was cured.
Yeah. Okay. So, but it was before he was cured. So I think it's slightly before their imminent demise. What?
That
Shit.
makes
There's
no
another
sense.
fucking plot hole. God damn it.
That makes no sense because.
Well, no. Okay.
why
So
would they bring him back?
so technically it does because the lizard as a life form. Well, so I mean, I guess that doesn't make sense that it wouldn't just be Dr. Connors, but.
Yeah, because they share the same embodiment.
Well, and then the other plot hole is that Electro never knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Nope.
He knew Peter Parker. They were worked together. He knew him.
But
He didn't know he was Spider-Man, but he knew Peter Parker.
But it was only people that knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man that got pulled.
They just knew Peter Parker.
No. The spell pulled people who knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
The spell was for people who knew
That Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Now, there's a theory that might answer this. So if you watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2, when Electro is knocked on his ass, Gwen calls Spider-Man Peter, and then he, like, wakes up. But presumably he was conscious. He just, like... So I guess that's, like, kind of the Band-Aid for the plot
I'm
hole.
gonna have to watch it again.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of... So, but anyway, so here's the time before we get too far off track. So... Norman Osborn dies in the year 2000 in the Raimi-verse, but theoretically the Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker is still alive as of 2020, so they're pulled from the same universe but at different times. Now they cure the Goblin in another timeline, and he's supposed to go back to the year 2000 shortly before his imminent death. But if he stays the same, which theoretically he would, he'd go back to that time, but without the Goblin, and theoretically could not die in the Raimiverse, which would send shockwaves through the timeline. Same with Doc Ock. But I wonder if by Norman Osborn not dying, would Dr. Octopus even have become Dr. Octopus in the first place? Because that could butterfly effect all that shit.
Not necessarily.
Well, you don't know, but I'm saying it's a possibility. So you could really start.
I think he helped these people, and they still went to the universe.
I think they
and
still.
died.
I think they still died. No, what my point is, you can
Power
open.
of the charm.
There's a lot of
In the palm of my hands.
there's a lot of potential for storytelling though, because if you now then the other option is that coincidentally Norman Osborn is pulled from a different universe. It just happens to have a copy of that Spider-Man. Or that Toby is pulled from a different universe where it followed the same track, but then there was a divergent timeline. And I guess they go into this somewhat in the Loki series, which I haven't watched, but
I've heard it's not that good.
I heard it was amazing. I just
Did
don't
you?
fucking have time.
Oh.
But it goes into all that multiverse
Somebody
stuff.
said Loki was like a a beta bitch, and I was like, duh.
He's the trickster. He's not Thor. That's the point.
Yeah, and the thing is, they were pissy because he hid behind a woman and used her as a shield, and I was like, that's Loki.
Exactly what Loki would do.
Yeah, that's just what I heard. I haven't watched it yet, and honestly, I need to.
Yeah, now I kind of want to because apparently it goes into all that multiverse time travel stuff.
Yeah, because does Loki have any ability to move between?
Theoretically, he would.
He should.
Theoretically,
Loki's pretty powerful.
Yeah, theoretically he would.
In his own way.
But I think most of that, when he did it, I think most of that was because he had the Tesseract.
Yeah, but were those weren't different realities. Those were different galaxies.
Oh yeah, I guess that's the Space Stone.
Yeah. Was the Tesseract the Space Stone?
Yeah, the blue one.
Which has been destroyed now, so they don't have.
In that universe, yes.
Yeah,
but not in the others.
Theoretically, if every universe is different, the stone might not operate the same.
True, yeah, but mathematically, you would assume that at least in some of the universes, they would be the exact same.
Norman Osborn.
I'm gonna finish her nice and slow.
I tell you what, dude. Norman. Willem Dafoe is 66, and he did his own stunts in this movie. Not like that, there were a bunch of them.
And still. Keanu Reeves doesn't do his own stunts.
He doesn't?
He does his own action, but not his own stunts. I'm just referencing a video that's been making the rounds. I'm not hating on Keanu Reeves.
You need to watch Matrix so we can get to guy.
Dude, so I did. I rewatched the first and the second Matrix. God damn, the second one's terrible.
Oh yeah,
it's so bad.
It's horrible.
The first one was really good.
Classic.
It's so good. The second one's a piece of shit. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry because it is. It's a piece of shit.
Sosa?
What up, Sos?
We just got a like and a viewer. So
hell yeah, give us a haiku.
There you go. Matrix sucks. You suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, now I'm really worried about the next two, and I've heard that the Matrix Resurrections should never have been made, and that it's a clusterfuck, and that it's terrible. And
if you get what they mean in it, this is why I'm saying we definitely need to review it, because the thing is, there were some things I explained to my wife, who was a huge fan of the first three, and watched them. I mean, obviously, I don't know if she was a fan of the second one, but I mean. First go around, it was an okay movie. You watch it more than once, the second one sucked horribly.
It's really bad, guys.
But yeah, so I explained some things to her, and it made sense, and then she appreciated the newest one more.
Yeah, but anyway,
maybe I can change some minds.
Back to Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Pig.
Spider-Pig. Spider-Pig. Does whatever Spider Pig does.
Well, that was pretty good at first. I was like, holy shit. Sounds just like Simpson. Boom! So where are we at chronologically?
Beer. Fuck. So I was talking about the time. So basically my point in that long, contrived, poorly thought out theory is that there are many, many opportunities for some really cool stories to be told, and not least rebooting or at least giving closure films to the other two Spider-Man universes.
They could even put them together.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I like your idea about the Madam Webs, because then we get another co-op Spider-Man movie.
And to be honest with you,
and then
I
you
would
can
rather that.
Well, and here's the thing: if they do it that way, they can bring Gwen Stacy back as Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen. Is it Spider-Gwen?
Spider-Gwen. Yep. Which is kind of a dumbass name.
Yeah, that kind of defeats the purpose of the mask. Remember?
I don't really carry ID, kind of.
Kind of defeats the purpose of anonymity.
So anyway, chronologically speaking, this is about. So this is when the kids are trying to get into MIT, and they don't. Well, they don't get it.
That was so good though when he obviously when he first meets Doc Ock. And he's on the thing trying to plead his case. No, actually, before that, though, when he goes to see... and he's like, you didn't think to ask.
You didn't think to ask. And then, this is so subtle, but it's such a funny edit. When he's like, when you put it like that, and then they just immediately cut to the door slamming in his face. That's fantastic editing. Editing does so much in a movie that people don't even notice. But, that was a source of comedy that was just because of the shot order. that was selected.
That was perfect.
Hilarious. I love that. It's like, well, when you put it like that.
But
like, can we take a second to just point out again how, like, I don't think this is the right word, but I'm just going to use it for lack of a better one. Like, how fucking charming Tom Holland is as Peter Parker.
he has a very
good period.
American accent, too.
Like, what's your deal?
He has an insanely good American accent.
A lot of British actors do, though. Like, because Andrew
but
Garfield has a pretty good one, too, though.
You can hear his come out sometime, though, when he yells. Peter, when he yells, he doesn't sound like that. No, Peter Parker. Yes?
Yes? Peter Parker. We're all...
Yeah. But no, when... shit. I just lost it. I don't know. So anyway.
Look out! Woo! Here comes the Spider-Man.
Oh, God. The guy playing the guitar.
Yep. I think we're just going to see how many obscure Spider-Man references we can throw in from the various movies.
This would take you a long time to edit, but you should go through and be like, ding, ding, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just
Fuck
have
that. I don't have the time to do that bullshit.
You would need a whole day.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Doctor Strange throws him out, and then he's obviously goes and asks her.
It's the MIT lady.
The dean. I think it's the dean, right? And she's
or
like,
somebody in
I'm gonna talk to
admissions.
And then it's going good. And because he literally takes over Doc Ock's arms with his fucking spider suit, which is
brilliant.
Awesome.
And it's like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, how the hell is he going to... And then I'm like, oh, right, it's nanotech.
Yeah,
that's literally how it works.
Is like, nanotech?
And like some people would literally say something like it was contrived. It's like, no, that's literally how nanotechnology works. Mm-hmm. It integrates into other things, and like
mRNA.
it would pair like a Bluetooth device, and that's how he has control. This is fucking brilliant.
And he's laughing about it. Oh, it's so great.
Well, and there are so many moments in all the Spider-Man movies where you get, and Doctor Strange even outright says it in this movie. It's like, I forget you're just a kid. And there are some, and they do such a great job of reminding you every now and then that we're dealing with a kid, and that's one of them. And it's so subtle, but it's like
in all of the Spider-Man movies, when people mention that.
Well, but I'm talking particularly the Tom Holland. I'm talking particularly about the Tom Holland one.
Oh, I know.
Because both in the Raimi verse and the Amazing Spider-Man verse, the first movie they're in high school, but very quickly they graduate. And then they become adults.
Absolutely, but when Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, when he saves the train, and, and all the people see his face, and it's like he's just a kid.
Yeah, he's just a boy.
And that shit right there.
That was such a great scene.
He still is just a kid.
Yeah,
because he's only 19.
That's goddamn.
Maybe 20.
Yeah, 19 or 20. When you think about it like that, that's fucked up.
And then Andrew Garfield.
18.
Well,
maybe 17 or 18.
Who was it that said he was a kid in the movie?
I'm trying to remember.
He goes, you're just a kid.
Oh, was it Gwen's dad?
No,
because he recognized him.
Yeah, and he's just like, "What the fuck, Peter?" and then
that's a great scene too.
That was a great scene, dude. What was his name? Who's the actor that played Gwen's dad?
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary.
Yeah.
Fucking great pick for Gwen's dad because
awesome.
I love Dennis Leary.
Awesome.
But
awesome.
When he saw his face and now I'm a believer. No, so he sees his face and he's just like, damn it. And then he's literally telling him, he's like, that fucking monster is climbing up the side of the building at Oscorp and your daughter's there. And he's like,
such a good.
Please!
Damn it! Now I want to watch that movie again.
Which one?
The Amazing Spider-Man.
It's so good.
It's so good. Like, until No Way Home, I said, bar none, it was the best Spider-Man movie ever made. And now it has competition.
Homecoming was good, but it wasn't.
Homecoming was good, but I will admit, I was sore at the new Peter Parker because I didn't like that he was given all this tech.
I gave it a chance.
I gave it a chance. Like, it was all right. Well, I'm not even gonna say it was all right. It was good.
It was gonna be this good.
Well, No Way Home corrects all those problems, though.
No, and I didn't mean that. I meant like the Spider-Man himself. I didn't think he was going to be that awesome and well-rounded as a character. They did an amazing job of bringing him around fully.
Yeah, and that's another movie where you get that he's just a kid, but Iron Man's telling him the whole time, it's like, listen, you're trying to put the entire weight of the world on your shoulders, and you don't need to.
And he's, and then that point where Tom Holland's Spider-Man is literally saying, hey, don't you dare say you know how I feel. And then, of course, that's another thing where he's just, that's a kid statement.
Yeah.
Because they absolutely know, and he should have known as Spider-Man, even if they're from different universes, that they've probably gone through some shit too.
Well, that's what the older two were trying to
I lost
tell him.
my MJ.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to tell him, is like, we actually do know how you feel, and we also know, and not only do we know how you feel, but like, I mean, I know you think it's your fault, and it probably is. But
somewhere, no shit, got it. I forgot to see where that's my problem.
Not my policy.
What was
so goddamn
Amazing Spider-Man?
good?
What was his?
That was not my policy.
Yeah, but
it was the take a penny thing.
What was? Oh yeah, that's what it was. Because he was getting the chocolate milk.
It's like a little help.
Dude even gave him the chocolate milk, and it's like, oh shit.
I mean, but really,
the first one. Thanks.
Thanks, but that wasn't even the guy who killed Uncle Ben. Because Sandman did. Peter just thought that's who killed Uncle Ben.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. And it was an accident.
Yeah.
Just put the gun down and go home, son.
Yeah.
And then he just shoots it. Boom. And then they're like...
He's like, I just shot that Regis Philbin looking motherfucker.
Peter! Peter!
So bad!
Peter! So, I mean... I'm not trying to hate on that actor, but...
It was
as a kid, I was.
I mean, but it's kind of like
made me laugh.
it's kind of like laughing at Bully Maguire though, because like I know he's supposed to have like a hard edge, but he's just a fucking dork. Did you see that meme where it was like all
my Aunt May.
No, the other one where it had all three of them, and it was like everybody's MJ dies. They're all single. Yeah. That's so terrible. Oh, shit. Well, and then if you remember, too, I don't know if you know this, but in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, they were supposed to introduce Mary Jane, but they ended up cutting her out of it because they had too much in the movie.
Yeah, they had way too much in the
Well, that was the movie's problem. It was too bloated. And I remember reading about it. It's like, okay, so we got Electro, and they're supposed to be introducing the Green Goblin, who is, like, the Spider-Man villain. And so he's going to be in it. And they're going to introduce Mary Jane?
Fun fact about Green Goblin. Spider-Man is stronger, but Green Goblin is obviously right there. With human strength.
Are you talking about the fight scene?
No, just superhuman strength, period.
Well, that was one criticism
Green
people...
Green Goblin is almost as powerful as Spider-Man.
Right. Well, and that was one of the criticisms that people were saying. It's like, well, Tom Holland was punching the shit out of him. It's like, do you really think he was giving it his all because he's had to pull his punches from day one? And with what you just said, Andrew Garfield's character says, he said that he goes, eventually I stopped pulling my punches. Yeah. So that's a movie I would like to see. And you got to think, man, Spider-Man, whether people want to say it or not, is strong as fuck. Well, and I watched a really interesting video where they were talking about which one was stronger, and he made a pretty good case that Tobey Maguire may be the strongest one of the three, or at least he showed more. Do you just make it inside your body? Does it come out of other places? Just the wrists. That was amazing how they debunked that. And like, I was wondering how they were gonna, good. I was wondering how they were going to cover that, and then they just whoa. Us as super nerds watching the original movie, we're like, why doesn't he have web shooters? So here's a fun fact for you, and I just found this out recently. Originally, he had web shooters in the Tobey Maguire movie. In fact, there's footage of him making them and wearing them. They actually digitally removed them from some shots in the movie. Why? Because they felt that, and at the time I would have disagreed, but now I agree with it. Like, it was just unnecessary. Like, they didn't really need to go into all that. And you know what the funny thing is? Is that... Alright, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is a super nerd who's very good with numbers and equations and stuff like that.
Andrew Garfield was a super nerd with lab work
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and then Peter Parker was kind of the same thing as Holland. But the thing is, the only true one that was in a lab doing work was Garfield.
Correct, and there's a very important distinction.
He did this in a lab.
But here's the thing though. Andrew Garfield didn't create it from scratch though. He saw the Oscorp.
Oh yeah, no, he copied it.
Yeah, he copied it.
So he made it better.
Yeah, he did. He made the tensile strength a lot better, and he made it retractable and all that.
But it's crazy where it is. It's right here, and it comes out like here, and there's no like nothing like that or anything like that. He just and then so fast. So it's like why couldn't you catch Gwen quicker? Remember the hand, the web?
Yeah,
she turned into a hand and was trying to catch her, and they did catch her, and she boop on the ground.
Well,
she broke her neck because in the comics she broke her neck when he caught her.
Yeah, and I still maintain that was Gwen Stacy's fault.
Shouldn't have fell.
Shouldn't have been there. He told you not to come. Same thing. It's just like Rose killed Jack in Titanic.
What show or movie? What fucking show or movie literally just said no? Cobra Kai.
Yes.
Should have been there.
Shouldn't have been. You know what Mr. Miyagi said the best defense was? No be there. No be there? You mean don't be there. Guy teaches you century secrets of karate. You couldn't help him with his English.
Don't be there.
No be there.
Which
we
will probably do.
Oh, we've got to do a Cobra Kai episode.
Cobra Kai because
we've got to.
Have watched it already.
Oh, that will be an episode of
I'm probably gonna start rewatching it here soon.
Yeah, probably. That's just gonna be an episode of us just reciting lines from the show.
Yes.
Quiet.
Quiet. Oh, dude, when fucking
here we go. Crease. Terry Silver.
Macchio.
Oh, Ralph.
When
Ralphie boy.
When Ralph said quiet. Do you remember that part? He's like, quiet. And I was like,
good.
And the funny thing is, William Zabka came up with that.
Yeah.
The quiet.
That's brilliant.
There's really no story behind it. I want to know the story.
Quiet. Quiet. Well, it's such a Johnny Lawrence thing to do. Just go in a room and you just yell quiet and everybody shuts up. It's great.
I'm going to rewatch it all.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's such a rewatchable show, too, though. Mm-hmm. Just like Spider-Man No Way Home is a very rewatchable movie.
Very rewatchable.
Very rewatchable.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Not wrap it up, but like get going quicker.
Yeah.
To the end of the movie because it is almost 11.
Jesus Christ. It's really not that bad. It's only about an extra 10 minutes.
Did you come from home?
Yeah.
Is it really only 10 extra minutes?
Mm-hmm. Not even. Probably like 8.
All right.
Well, because I'm going straight south instead of south and then east. So it's about the same.
True.
And this way I'm on, well, I guess I'm on interstate the whole time, but regardless. Anyway.
So
MJ and I are going to have a hell of a time.
So we are currently at the part where...
They're moving into...
Okay, Electrode and Sandman come into play.
Because we touched on the bridge. Yeah, because that's about... Which, again, that scene, you just kind of needed it. It was necessary to introduce them, but I don't recall anything being particularly memorable.
You know what doesn't make any sense about Sandman, though? He acts like he doesn't care, but yet he helped save Peter from Electrode.
Well, but we got to remember, he realized that it wasn't the Peter from his universe, so now he's like, I don't know you. What did you do to him?
And then and he's literally trying to tell him, you're not from this universe, and then he's just like, duh, I'm a big brainy dummy.
So, fun fact, that actor is so, like, I don't know his name.
He was a big brainy dummy.
Big brainy dummy head.
Say big brawn dummy or something. Yeah.
I can't unsee the fact that that dude is Lyle from George of the Jungle.
Who's Lyle?
I've
seen George of the Jungle. I can't remember Lyle.
Bad guy falls in poop. Now is the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready? Ursula, Ursula, Ursula. That guy.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Dude, it holds up. It's so stupid, but...
George out of the jungle, watch out for that tree. I remember that.
Oh, fuck. Anyway.
Sandman and Electrode.
So they show up and
fight.
they get locked in the magician's cellar.
Yeah, but I like how Peter was like, "I'm gonna stay here and clean this up so they don't blame me."
Yeah, because
and I'm
he
like,
just
"What? Do you have power tools?" I was like, "I can understand if you're like, super strong, but you're just gonna push those back in."
well, there's kind of another plot hole because he connected them with webbing, but the webbing disintegrates after a few hours. Because if it didn't, there'd just be web all over New York City.
Right. My grandma asked, "Can you clean up the webbing?" She's like, "Can you crawl around on the ceiling? Hey, can you get that webbing?"
You are a very
Oh no, what was it?
you're a very distrusting person.
That was so good. So moving forward, they're back in the dungeon, and they're all arguing.
Can you ask him if this is a tree guy or a tree monster? It's just a tree, man.
Yeah.
It's just a tree.
Still overcast. You're right. Come to think of it,
I mean, it's better in this movie because he's not overdone.
It was better, but the thing is, I feel like the way they did him instead of making him super blue, the way it put the shield on his face and did the whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was like that actually looked pretty cool because it was electric. Because in the comics, I believe
it was just
he
a
wore
costume.
something.
Yeah,
it
was
a costume. But that was
you
pretty
could
cool.
say it was electrifying.
Electrifying. And the man in the corner.
He's got chills. They're multiplying.
Oh shit.
I hate that fucking musical. Anyway,
That's a good movie.
no, it's not. Grease.
That's a good movie.
Grease is the shits.
You better step up, cause Jake needs a man. And his mom's looking at you. I don't need to quit my day job. Oh wait, I don't have one.
No, because you're a beauty school dropout. Are we really making Grease references?
We are. Beauty
Go
school
Grease
dropout.
Lightning. You can't see Go Grease
Go
Lightning.
back to high school.
Oh my god.
I know it all.
I fucking hate that goddamn movie so much.
Hey, what's
The
worse?
only-
What's worse, Grease or Crybaby?
That's not a fair question.
Crybaby. That's a good movie too.
Well, okay. Anyway, Spider-Man. So he's got the guys locked up, but now he has the
Johnny Depp is the original Spider-Man.
fuck. Anywho, this is one of the things I wanted to bring up though, because this explores an interesting moral philosophy.
Moral.
Well, because Doctor Strange is viewing things from, I would say, a very, very engrossed. It's basically utilitarianism versus like Kantiism. So Doctor Strange is looking at it as the multiverse needs to set back in balance, and if 4 people have to die to do that, especially since they were going to die anyway, who gives a fuck? Peter, on the other hand, is looking at it on an individual basis, and he does not want to be morally responsible for that if he can do something to prevent it. And this is it's actually a really, really interesting look at.
Shows his collars really well.
Well, but herein lies the difference. So
hero
Doctor Strange isn't necessarily wrong. He's just got a different perspective. Doctor Strange has a cosmic perspective.
Wait a minute. No, you're right though. But to what I'm thinking, save your thought. But anyway, so actually Peter just wanted to send him back originally too, but Aunt May helped shape him.
Well, yeah, correct. But again, pointing out Peter's a boy. He doesn't. But he knows she's right. But again, it would have just been easier.
send him
And
back.
this is a recurring theme through Spider-Man: is what is right is usually not easy.
Yeah, but actually, if you think about it though, if they would have sent them back, who says that the spell would have been fixed? Because if you think about it, just because they're there, is that the reason everybody started coming at the end? Or was it because
Well,
the
no,
spell
what-
was breaking down the barriers?
Well, no, what was happening? He wasn't sending them back, so to speak. He was going to destroy the spell, which them being sent back would have been a
he had to send them
byproduct.
back and then diffuse the spell.
No, by diffusing the spell, they would have gone back to their own realities.
Yes.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
with the box thing.
But no, what I'm saying is though, if he would have just... yeah, okay, never mind.
What about me, Max? Do I die?
Well,
I also didn't know you could talk.
Which one was that?
The lizard.
Oh, yeah. The dinosaur can talk.
I love how Peter's just like so nonchalantly. I also didn't know you could talk. It's like nothing phases me anymore. I'm Spider-Man, motherfucker.
Pretty much, dude.
He's been to space.
You know, the funny thing is, Peter went to space. Robert Downey Jr. went to space. And remember, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, went through that portal and came back out, and he had terrors for a while.
Well, Iron Man had hardcore
Anxiety.
hardcore PTSD.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Spider-Man was just like untouched. That just really shows how strong.
Well, but I don't think Tony didn't get PTSD from going to space. He got PTSD from, seeing that impending sense of doom because he saw the Armada basically, and then his PTSD really came from the Sokovia thing. In Age of Ultron. That's where the bulk of his issues came from.
A while.
Yeah, they basically.
I thought it was because he was like he was in another. Was it another universe or was it just?
No, it was just
wormhole?
Basically a wormhole.
But he was in another wormhole. But he was in a suit in another wormhole with nothing else. Anywhere to be.
Yeah, but I think that what
I thought that's what
I thought what really shook him up was the fact that he saw the force that was coming. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to rewatch. I gotta rewatch the whole fucking series because that hands down amazing. Spider-Man.
Just like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
So this is where, and I actually really dug the altercation between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Like I dug it.
But anyway,
flag for copyright.
So the
fight between Doctor Strange, and I like the fact that
so good.
It was good, and I love how Peter beat magic with math.
Yeah, and he's just like, huh.
He's like, wait, this is geometry. You love geometry. You're great at geometry.
And he's like,
and I'm like, this kid is a lot smarter than me.
He's like, I was hanging over the Grand Canyon for 12 hours.
Well, that's a reference to the Loki line. I have been falling for 30 minutes.
Who was falling? I can't remember.
Loki. Because he was in the portal, but he was just kept falling.
Who saved him?
I think they just stopped the portal. I think it was. I have been falling for 30 minutes.
It's been a while. I remember the line.
Oh, God. So, yeah, then they lock Doctor Strange away. Then they take everybody to Happy's apartment where he starts to fix them. And I like the fact that he actually saved one of them. First.
Right
obviously.
Off the bat.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
Doc Ock.
Yeah, and that was so great because, and again, they got it right because the chip fried.
He's like, oh, thank you, my dear boy.
Yeah. And, you kind of have expected it to be fake, but then he showed that he really was. But then he bolted, which you kind of just chalked up to him being scared or some shit. I knew he was going to turn face at the end, though.
I think he bolted because the thing is, he knew that they were turning, and instead of staying there...
I don't really understand why he bolted, though.
I don't think he necessarily bolted. Didn't he get kind of thrown out?
Well, yeah, but he could have gone back. Anyway.
Maybe he was on his way back, and then they were already...
Oh, no, they showed him leaving. But anyway, that's minor, because, the plot...
Well, you got to think. Dr. Octopus is not invincible like his arms.
True. So that might be why he left.
And Peter Parker has punched him in the face. And Peter Parker can hit very hard.
Right, but we've established that Peter Parker pulls his punches because if he didn't, he would kill people.
Yeah, but it's just like, knock their head off, game over. Imagine Deadpool with Peter Parker's strength.
Oh, God.
Yes. That would be amazing. Could you imagine him wielding swords with that strength?
I can imagine Ryan Reynolds being stealing his web shooters.
Yeah.
This is amazing. It's almost like Spider-Man is amazing.
The funny thing is, Deadpool had, in an instance, I think he had spider powers.
Yes, for a very, very brief. He took over as Spider-Man briefly, actually. In the comics, there was I forget what the name of the arc was, but Peter Parker was missing for some reason. I think he got I think it was when he got sucked into the other universe by the Madam Web storyline, and there's a brief instance where he actually puts the costume on and is Spider-Man for a brief period of time. I don't remember the details, but yes, I believe you're correct in that. Maybe Deadpool was in this movie. We just missed him.
He was Spider-Man. He was Tobey Maguire.
It would have been great if he came out before. He's like, "Hi, Pool, dead. I feel like I know you guys."
We can
Has
only
anybody
afford,
seen-
We can only afford 3 major actors.
Has anybody seen Cable?
We need another Deadpool movie.
Apparently, one's in the works, but
And they need more characters in it. They haven't been
well,
putting
I
shit-
almost kind of like it because now it's just kind of a running joke. It's almost like we couldn't afford another X-Man, which was true. Like, that's
because
why
they
it's
created them.
that's why it's hilarious. It's almost like we couldn't afford another X-Man. Oh God! So anyway, the villains are running wild.
Yes.
Running wild. And Peter gets the shit kicked out of him. And then a lot of people didn't like the fact that Aunt May died. I thought it was fantastic, especially once you get to the end. Now it really makes sense because May had to die because Peter has to lose everything.
It's like a circle.
It's like a circle.
But it all did come back around, and at the
Well,
end
and plus-
it all made sense because there had to be some type of...
Oh, okay, that was weird. Your mom just went blank.
There had to be some type of cataclysm to create
Everything
true
just
Spider-Man.
everything just blipped. Whoa.
Who are you?
Deja vu. Where's the agent?
That was weird. Why did it do that?
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson. Anyway, so
Well, but
Aunt
they-
May had
and-
to die to create
And
Spider-Man.
they kind of established because I don't remember if any of the previous movies. I don't think there was an Uncle Ben,
He was already dead.
but it had been so long though.
But the thing is, they didn't even give a backstory on
Well, that's
him.
what I'm saying. I'm wondering if there even was an Uncle Ben in the Tom Holland universe because they kind of implied that he hadn't gone through that sense of tragedy yet, which I thought was really interesting in hindsight because, like, before, Peter Parker kind of gets galvanized into the hero bit because of him blaming himself and his lack of action for Uncle Ben's death. But this Peter Parker didn't have that tragedy, so he just decided to be a hero from the get-go. Which makes sense for how they characterize him, because, and again, you notice that this Peter Parker is like super polite,
Well, he
and
wasn't a cocky kid.
that's what I'm saying.
And he was
Like this
smart, so
this
it
Peter
helped.
Parker was kind of meek and super polite, not a bitch, but I mean, presumably he was before he got his spider powers, because again, we never saw Tom Holland's Peter Parker without spider powers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like,
Which I think was
why
one-
didn't they even have like a 10-minute segment? You know.
Well, because they needed him for Captain America: Civil War, which I get it because
Well, they
we've
could
already.
have had that, but in Coming Home,
Well, that was after.
Homecoming.
That was
Coming Home.
after. I'm coming home.
they could have like given like a little backstory.
Well, but they kind of couldn't.
We
though.
don't need it. We all know the story.
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
Spider-Man.
saying. Like it almost fast tracked it in a way that now I can kind of
But
appreciate.
regardless, though, in Spider-Man 1, I will always love when he's finding his powers. And in Amazing
Oh,
Spider-Man,
that's great.
when he found his powers on that bus, when he's sleeping, and the water hits his thing,
Great.
and all of a sudden he just fucking jumps up on the ceiling. Fantastic.
Have you been
We
seeing?
love we love, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Have you been seeing the videos going around where somebody like holds up a phone? Somebody's watching like the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire when he climbs up the wall the first time, and then he turns and looks down and goes, "Woo!" But
Yeah,
then somebody like holds the phone up.
He's just like,
I think my favorite one though was somebody held up a Playboy. He just turns back. Woo!
that was good.
Like, oh god, this is hilarious.
It was really good.
Now we're gonna wrap it up pretty
Fuck.
soon. But yeah, we touched on the interesting moral. But then the other thing that this movie does really well is like this movie does something really, really cool that I didn't expect. It gives us a hero's journey with an already established hero. So this is a character that we've already seen be heroic, but he goes through another hero's journey.
You know what doesn't make any sense though? Why didn't he keep the Spider-Man, Iron Spider-Man suit?
Why did he keep it?
Why didn't he?
Because it wouldn't work anymore because they confiscated all that Stark technology, and they hint at it because he tries to use the facial recognition software to find the admissions lady, but he can't access the network. He's been cut off. And then I think it was damaged and he couldn't repair it.
If only he could have got control of those fucking doofy glasses.
I like it better this way because again, like he goes through this hero's journey, and now this, like, so I guess the best metaphor I can come up
with.
with.
But that kills the legacy of Tony Stark.
Kind of.
He was supposed to don it, and he trusted him with those fucking glasses, but he also didn't give him a backstory on those glasses. He just gave them to
Correct.
him.
Yeah. But so I guess the best way I can put it into words is like up until this point, we've had Tom Holland's Spider-Man has essentially been like Spider-Boy. He's constantly had help. Well, not always, but he's had help when he really, really needed it. But at the end of this movie, he really is Spider-Man because he's been reset from zero. He has nothing. And I love the very subtle thing in his box. It's the GED thing. Because again, everybody forgot who Peter Parker was. So his high school diploma is worthless. Because even though he has it, nobody knows. Like, so he's got to start from scratch, and I fucking love that.
Yeah, but he's still going to start from scratch with the name Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, once people start to get to know him, he could just have his high school diploma and then like forge records. I mean, because the records are there. People
That's
just
true.
Forgot. Because that's the thing.
Well, unless
everything is still there. It didn't erase any. Any physical evidence.
It may have though.
They
don't establish that. Well, presumably it would because I mean, especially in the age of the internet.
Well, because they only forget that he existed. He exists.
Well,
so
I know.
Everything
Yeah.
that came along
Okay.
with
Yeah.
him
So,
at least in my opinion.
well, so so in order for that to be the case, it would have to be the thing where like it go away greens Peter Parker, so people could be looking for his file, but as soon as they find it, their brain diverts to something else.
Yeah, but then I'd be like, look at it again. That's my name.
I mean, I would presume that it would literally be something to the effect of like they just literally won't see it, like their brain, like, and it automatically goes to the next one. Yeah, that would be interesting.
He's gonna start over, and he's smart, so he could get that GED and like he could probably just take it.
Well, it was funny because that actually gave me a thought because I'm like, you know what though, if you really think about it, like in today's day and age, like especially if you're really, really smart, like it's almost a better use of your time to just get your GED and then go to community college for 2 years, and then you can transfer into pretty much wherever the hell you want anyway, which is probably what he's going to do.
Just gotta have the money.
Well, but it's cheaper.
Well, actually, in community college, if he has good enough scores, then he could possibly get a ride.
Yeah, presumably.
But yeah, so the ending.
I mean,
we're not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that was Peter Parker's freaking apartment. Remember when he's spinning the wheel and he goes flying out?
Yeah.
Hey!
That would have been, and that's certainly in the realm of an Easter egg they would throw in. Like, we don't really need to go on my head. I mean, the final battle was really, really good, and like and like I wouldn't even say it's a criticism, just I noticed. I think that they may have done a little too much comedy, but I was enjoying it too much, so it didn't really bother me. But it did kind of seem at times they were like, oh, this is a really important battle that's happening, and there's, you know, danger, but we're just joking around about him being in a band. But again, I liked it so much that I didn't really.
That was hilarious.
You
were in a band?
I love that. The Avengers? That's great. What is that? Is that a band? Are you in a band? I love you guys. And I loved that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire got to have that little moment together where it was just them. And then that was fun.
Yeah, they did a lot of fan service in this movie, but they didn't.
But they did it in a way that wasn't.
Yes, they didn't like give it to where it's like here's what you wanted.
Well, I don't know that, you know, I'm something of a scientist myself, was kind of like, but again, I liked it so much.
I think they threw that in for a quip.
Oh,
like,
they had to.
That was just
so
like,
this kind of reminds me of. I'm not gonna deviate too long, but this is another.
Make it on your own steam. That's admirable.
It's admirable. My son's worthless, but
I know, right?
So this movie kind of reminded me of a direct-to-video movie they made not too long ago, Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, on the surface, this seems really stupid and like it won't work. It's phenomenal. And it's essentially just a fan fiction, but it's done so well.
Who made it?
Warner Animation. It was a co-production between them and Nickelodeon.
Oh, so it's legit?
Yeah, it's an actual movie. It's very good, but there's a lot of fan servicey moments like that, but they do it in such a way that like it's done really, really well.
Didn't in the new movie, Raphael, and then he's like, oh, he's out being Batman again. Have you seen the newer movies?
The Michael Bay ones?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I've seen the first
dude.
one. They're fucking terrible.
Yeah, they're not bad.
No, they're abominations.
If you get away,
They're not fucking aliens. The word mutant is in the goddamn title.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, I agree with that. I hated that, but the thing is,
So angry.
he's got carry powers.
Woo! I'm not even joking. I'm literally in the movie theater just livid because I have been a TMNT fan since I can remember.
Honestly, I know we wanted more movies,
It
but
was the shits.
the first two were
still the best ones.
The third one was okay, but the first two,
The CG one was pretty good. I mean, it's a shit story, but I mean, and you kind of have to be a fan for it to make sense because they have characters like Karai in it, and if you don't know who Karai is, you're like, who the fuck is Karai? Where's the goddamn Shredder? Like, how do you legitimately? How do you have a first TMNT movie without the Shredder? I don't know. It just didn't make, but it was all right.
Shredder.
But yeah, I mean, the 1990, I think it was the 1990 movie is the best one.
Jim Henson's
Fucking great.
puppets were perfect.
And that's my favorite incarnation. And Ben and I are at some point we're gonna have him on and we're gonna do a TMNT episode. We already promised the viewers, but so I'll stop. But I mean that's another example of like what could be construed as fan fiction being done right.
Shit, how are we gonna do that?
What do you mean? I'll pick him up. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's one of those where we might have to do it on a day other than a Thursday.
Oh, yeah, like I don't think you work Sundays.
Well, and so here's the thing. I was actually going to suggest off air, but I'll do it now. Let us know what you think, viewers. I wasn't looking at the camera. I was looking at the monitor. I don't know how well this would work for you, but like probably if I had to pick a day.
To just record it?
Well, no, like to do the podcast, period. Saturday nights would be amazing because I don't work on Sundays.
Well, I don't work Saturday nights now either.
So maybe we change the night. Because, dude, legitimately, like if I came,
we can do it any night. Really, that bends off.
Well, Saturday night would be phenomenal for me because
Saturday night.
Because I don't work on Sundays. So like if we want to go till 2 a.m, it doesn't fucking matter. Not that we would, but you know what I'm saying.
Doesn't fucking matter.
So what'd you say your name was? It doesn't matter what your name is.
What is that from?
That's The Rock, man.
I know, but what is that from? I feel like.
Oh, that's just what he did.
There's like a YouTuber that puts that in.
Oh yeah, all the
he's
time.
Like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what your name is. That's how they do in this movie. He's like, hey, what's your name again, son? Peter Parker. It doesn't matter what your name is because I don't remember it, jabroni.
At the end of the movie, though, when Peter stops Peter, when Tobey Maguire stops Tom Holland from
Peter
killing,
2 stops Peter 1.
When he stops him from killing
Norman,
man, that was strong. Because
so good.
He literally just stared into his soul and was like,
well, and
it's okay.
They introduced the concept of great power. With great power comes great responsibility, which can we just say is like a quote for the ages and is so obscenely true and something that our political leaders should really take that. Like, y'all should watch Spider-Man.
Not necessarily just watch it.
Like, really take it to heart. Because it's true, though, if you really think about it. Like, and I forget which one. I think it's Martin Sheen who says it this way. I mean, he's like, you know, if you have the ability to do things, then you have a moral obligation to. Yeah, that was Martin Sheen. You have a moral obligation to do those things, and that's true to a point.
And don't be a. Go ahead, finish.
Oh, I mean, I was done.
No, you thought. I was gonna say, and don't be a Dan Crenshaw.
That just leer you gave me, that sneer, like.
Vaccine registry. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did, and I gotta
I
say,
couldn't fucking believe that. Like,
I
Sasha
couldn't.
was like okay with it because she's like, it's optional. And I was like, no, he
well,
shouldn't
but
be for that.
well, but then it's not.
Sorry, I'm not trying to get all political.
But then it's not a registry. Like then it's just a
Exactly.
list that you can
And
opt in
I
and
was
out
like,
of.
no, Dan, you lost me big time, buddy.
I'm gonna chalk it up because I do like the guy overall. I'm gonna chalk
no,
it up.
I seriously do like that.
I'm gonna chalk it up to him trying to find a middle ground because that's one of the things that I admire about him.
He's always trying.
He's trying to find it because he's realistic about it.
All right, we're not gonna.
Yeah,
delve into
that's
this
another.
much,
Oh, believe me, we have tons of political topics to talk about. We still have to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell and.
oh my gosh, dude, we've got so much to talk
Yeah.
about.
Oh, and then we got the TMNT episode we got to do. We're gonna do the Matrix at some point. Like we got like Cobra Kai. That's like
And-
4 episodes we got to get.
Now that I technically don't have a job, I'm gonna try to pump out more videos.
So what
and-
you're saying is that you're now a woozer.
I'm gonna just take this a little bit.
Oh, the myth. Wow, that's so cool. That now it just looks like a black curtain, but it's not. It's not a black curtain.
Those are my mining rigs, people, and Jake is sitting in front of the other one. 1.2 gigahash. Ooh. All right. Oh, there we go. Oh. Don't make me look ugly.
That's it. I'm not going.
All right. Let's see if we can get back in focus.
Yeah, because we're almost done.
Focus, man. That was a fun one. Oh shit! I can't move back.
I can't go back. And neither can Peter Parker
I didn't even
because
have my mouth near the microphone. Hopefully, you're able to hear me.
he got the reset. And can we shout out to the new Spider-Man outfit that he had to make from scratch?
Who?
Peter Parker.
Oh, it looks so good.
Well,
it was really blue.
Well, it's going back to the comic faithful version because again, this is so stupid. One of the criticisms of going back even to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is they did a bunch of designs and they actually picked. I like the design. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah,
But they,
good.
I cannot believe this. Again, I've been on YouTube. I'm on YouTube way too much. But there were actual criticisms of people saying that it wasn't quote blue enough. Which it's like, it goes back to when they made the first X-Men movie and they made the joke, is like, what did you expect? Yellow spandex? It's like, really? Think about it. Like, it's a gaudy costume, but it's really blue and I really liked it.
I'm not saying I hate it.
I liked it because...
honestly, I really... my favorite outfit is Andrew Garfield's.
Yeah. Well, because it made the most sense in universe and was faithful to the comics.
I hope we do get an actual true crossover completely, and
Dude,
not just like what it is. Because I would love to see Spider-Man 2099.
Fuck yeah.
You remember that? That shit was
Fuck yeah.
dope.
Fuck yeah. Well, and here's the thing, though. Like, I think
Except the Venom and Carnage and that
Yeah.
it looked like shit.
Well, and I think that both studios now understand that if they collaborate and work together, like, just print money.
That's all it is.
It's literally
Quit
like,
being little bitches.
I mean, literally, this movie proves, like, holy shit, like, literally, after
I think
this,
it made like $300 million in its first.
oh
weekend.
Jesus, like after this, literally after this movie, anything with Spider-Man on it is guaranteed money. I mean, you're gonna have to really fuck this up.
Yeah. In game,
Like, you're gonna have to make a live action
this is like
Miles
in-game
Morales movie.
status.
I'd say it's bigger. But okay, here's the only reason why, in terms of intellectual. Well, no, that's not true. It's not bigger. I'd say it's on equal footing. And this answered. I touched on this earlier. This answered the question because
Not
after
monetary wise.
no, not monetarily wise. Although I don't know, it's gonna be pretty close.
I think they made well over $1 billion.
Yeah, by the time it was all said and done. But
Yeah,
that was
and they beat out
which
Avatar.
I mean, but like Jesus, how long was Infinity War and Endgame in the theaters?
Well,
That was
wait till Avatar 2
months.
comes out.
I don't know. What are they gonna do?
I don't mean like what are they gonna do, but remember how big Avatar was and how much.
Yeah, I don't think Avatar 2 is gonna do it.
You don't think so?
No. Where are you going to go? They've already done Dances with Wolves in Space. What are you going to do? I'm sorry. That's what it is. It's Dances with Wolves in
Still
Space.
a great movie.
Yeah, Dances with Wolves is better. But
No.
like it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. Well, just like The Last Samurai is just Dances with Wolves in Japan. It's the same. It's the same fucking movie.
I tried to watch that. I just couldn't do it.
What, Dances with Wolves?
No.
Or The Last Samurai?
Last Samurai. That was Tom, right?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
It's a good movie.
I don't hate it.
What I love about that movie though is everybody's like, this is so inaccurate. I'm like, actually.
Did you watch Shang-Chi yet?
No, I need to.
Watch it. It's a fucking great movie.
Need to. Everybody else said it was the shits.
Oh, it's awesome. No, they're stupid.
Like just so nobody comments. I know The Last Samurai is not accurate, but it's more accurate than you think. I would say I'd say it's historically faithful to a point, with some frills. But there were white dudes in Japan at that time. I'm just putting it out there. And there was an individual that fought.
There were boats, people.
No, and there was a. Granted, I think he was French, but there was a Westerner who fought with the samurai during the Satsuma Rebellion. So that part is legit. And yes, they did lose. But anyway, that's a topic for another. But yeah, but they didn't. My point is they didn't make a Dances with Wolves 2, so Avatar has nothing to go on.
So basically, what we're saying is Spider-Man: No Way Home. Go watch it.
Go watch it, seriously.
If you've seen it, go watch it again.
And the final point I was gonna. Well, let's touch on the Venom controversy.
Yes.
And then final thoughts, and then we'll wrap it up because this is a long ass podcast. We did kind of answer our own question because we were in the theater. We're like, well, wait, why was Venom there? And then we figured out
Venom and Eddie Brock from that universe did not know Peter Parker.
I don't even think Spider-Man is in that universe.
I don't think Peter Parker exists in that, or
at least not as Spider-Man.
Or Spider-Man may exist, and they're not in the same city, and they don't know each other.
Or check this shit out. Maybe Spider-Man doesn't exist yet. Maybe he's going to exist in that universe.
Oh, he's a baby.
He's a babe. But anyway, we figured that out because if you watch the end of the post-credit scene in Venom Let There Be Carnage, the whole scene is essentially just Venom telling Eddie about the hive mind.
And
he's laying in the bed telling him about the hive mind. And then they do the shift. And
I'm going to have to fucking watch that.
I know.
Because I watched it and I did not catch it.
And then he's like, that guy. And here's what I think happened. When that spell was cast...
What are you doing in my room?
When that this is what I think happened. So I think at that moment, Venom did not know who Spider-Man was. But as soon as Doctor Strange cast that spell in his universe, that opened up the multiverse. And then the hive mind of various symbiotes from anywhere would have only taken one. So presumably Tobey Maguire's Venom knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and
there's an infinite amount of
exactly,
so it could be a bunch.
Yeah, it could have come from anyone. Hell, it could have even come from the comics. But at that moment, Venom knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and that's why he referenced that guy.
But he also, just because he knew him, didn't know why he was there.
So
he just knew of him.
Do you want to hear my super unnecessarily complicated theory of how Venom knew, or how Venom ended up in that universe?
Yeah.
This is some Back to the Future shit right here. Okay. So let's assume that there's not a hive mind at work here. So Venom ends up in the MCU because he, quote unquote, knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. But here's the thing. He didn't know at the time, but Venom would find out after he came to that universe because it was all over the TV that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. So going through the time stream, since he would find out in that universe and the symbiotes have a hive mind, he would then remember that and it would flow back through the time stream to before he knew, so that
either that or time is not linear to a symbiote.
Technically, not for the hive mind, it wouldn't be.
Because technically, unless they're killed, they may live forever.
Because
they can live in the vacuum of space.
I just made it more complicated. So you remember how Venom leaves a little piece of himself on the table? That symbiote would find out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and that would then inform the Venom from the Venomverse through the hive mind connection.
I want to see fucking Lasher. You remember
Yeah,
Lasher?
I know. You were totally obsessed with Lasher.
Lasher was so awesome, and it was a female.
Lasher wasn't female, was it? The blue motherfucker? Mm-hmm. I thought there were only two. The orange one and the pink one.
Oh, dude, there's so many fucking symbiote characters.
I meant in that particular...
I think Lasher was a female.
I thought it was a dude. Anyway, doesn't matter.
I'm a dude.
He's a dude. She's a dude.
We're all dudes. Ah! Anyway.
Hey. So yeah, that's how Venom knew. One of those many stories. But in closing, I was wondering where the MCU was going to go after Endgame because I'm like, how the hell are you going to top that?
And they did.
And they did in spectacular.
Crazy bastard.
And I had a feeling that Spider-Man was going to be the new anchor of the MCU, but I didn't know how they were going to do it. Now we know. And then there are whispers.
And technically, the Avengers still exist.
Yes, they do in the MCU. Yep.
And everyone still knows Spider-Man.
They don't anymore.
No, they know Spider-Man. They don't know Peter Parker.
True.
Thank you.
God, that's going to be complicated as shit.
Oh my God! Right?
Well,
so technically,
presume
Doctor Strange knows him, and he can explain that to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange will be like,
I think that's going to happen.
that sounds familiar.
I think that's going to happen in the Multiverse of Madness. There's going to be a Doctor Strange who knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
But on top of that, though, Doctor Strange could be like, oh, I did a spell, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
do something to remember. Please bring back at least somebody who knows him. It's not fair. Peter Parker.
Well, I don't know.
I got alone.
Well, but yeah, he should because that's Spider-Man, man.
No, he does not.
He by himself.
Anyway, so closing thoughts.
So that's why Ned's gonna
I
be
don't have it.
that's why
Great.
Ned's gonna be a villain. It's gonna happen.
Nope.
And Peter's gonna cry, or Tom Holland's gonna cry, and it's gonna make all of us cry.
Ned becomes a fucking villain.
He's going to, man.
You
It's
better
gonna
wear-
happen.
you better wear
So
a
but
cup.
here's the fucked up thing. We could see the coolest version of the Hobgoblin ever because he might become an actual fucking Hobgoblin.
He has to lose weight though. He look weird.
He's
Big
been
old fat
losing.
Hobgoblin.
He's been losing weight though.
Has he?
The actor, yeah.
No, he's bald in real life.
Yeah.
So it would be perfect for him to become Wong's fucking.
No, but think
lackey,
about
and
this.
he's
How
bald.
awesome would it be if the Hobgoblin could actually use magic?
He ain't gonna become the Hobgoblin.
Yes, he
This
is.
speculating.
He's going to. Well, no, because in the comics, one of the Hobgoblins.
Wait, he was a Hobgoblin?
Yeah, he was one of them. There were multiple
You said
Hobgoblins.
Green Goblin earlier. So
No,
that
I meant Hobgoblin.
Okay.
I may have said Green Goblin.
Yeah,
and
because Green Goblin had powers because of the
the theorem.
serum.
Well, but the Hobgoblin was just ripping
Hobgoblin
off
was just a suit and a glider.
and ripping off the serum. It was somebody trying to replicate the Green Goblin serum. At least the original. I don't know if
And
Ned
the
leads.
power only lasted for as long as he
Correct.
took serum.
Correct.
The serum only lasted for so long.
Radioactive Spider-Man.
Fucking man, that was the best cartoon.
Spider-Man.
ever.
Boom, boom.
I'll rewatch it every now and then.
I just always get a kick out of it. It's like spider sense.
Oh, my spider sense is tingling.
There are some moments in that show where like, God damn, the animation is terrible right here. But for the most part, it was really good. It was good,
Our cartoons from our childhood hold up.
dude.
What about yours?
Oh, dude, cartoons today fucking blow.
Yep.
For the most part, I can't think of a good one right now. I'm sure.
Except Drake Bell, his Spider-Man.
Oh, the Ultimate
Awesome.
Spider-Man.
I love it.
I've seen a couple episodes. The animation's good. The animation's really good.
I love the story was awesome.
I
It was
haven't-
basically MCU Spider-Man.
I haven't seen enough of it. I did see the Deadpool episode though, and I'm like, that's about the best way you can bring Deadpool into a children's show. I just love it. There's this one line in that episode that cracks me the fuck up when somebody says booby traps and the Deadpool goes, he said traps.
I don't remember that.
I'm like, God, this is so fucking stupid. I just love. He's like, he said traps.
That's good. So basically, in closing, I don't have anything else to say, but it's a
Go
fucking great
see
movie. Go watch it.
Spider-Man. Go rewatch the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Go rewatch the Andrew Garfield ones. Yes, the second one too, because I mean, you gotta watch them all.
Watch them all.
Gotta watch them all,
Oh.
even the ones that suck.
Even watch Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, which I think
It's not a bad movie.
it's not. Well, I mean, it's not great, but it's not god
No,
awful.
it's like Matrix 2.
No, The Matrix 2 is dog shit. Like, I will say though, it's worth it for the fight scene between Neo and Agent Smith.
Yeah, no,
The Agent Smiths. That part was pretty cool.
it was.
But you know what kills me, and this is why the second Matrix. I'm going to ruin this for everybody. If Neo can control the Matrix, then why doesn't he just eliminate all
Neo
the
can't control the Matrix. He can control elements within it. He does not control it, period.
He can modify the code though.
He does not necessarily modify the code. He manipulates it.
That's how we got rid of Agent Smith though, because he's like, delete, motherfucker.
He didn't. I mean,
It's like delete.
but Agent Smith was a program, so he was able
Correct.
to erase programs.
Yes.
but not necessarily change the actual fabric. The entire.
I guess that's
operating
true.
system.
I guess that's true because then that would have been too easy because then he would have just been like, shut down the
Basically, Neo
machine.
was the add remove programs on Windows.
Oh, Neo's totally Jesus. No, like there's
Neo Jesus.
no. Like literally, like the entire Neo character is totally a Jesus reference.
Oh yeah.
There's no so and then
I
you,
love it. I love it how religion ends up in.
Oh,
many
it
movies
makes
that people just don't get
it makes sense. Well, and then like it's so obvious like when you watch it with a hint of any knowledge of the
Superman.
Superman's definitely not specifically Jesus because the authors were Jewish, but he's
God
definitely a
said,
Messiah.
his only begotten son.
Well,
to save
the
mankind.
Jewish concept of the Messiah for sure, because both the authors were Jewish, so they weren't taking it over. Although I would argue that it has become more of a Christian undertone. But then you've literally got somebody named Trinity, and then you've got Neo, Morpheus, and Trinity. And I would make the case that Neo's obviously Jesus. Morpheus is obviously the representation of the Father because he awakens Neo from the Matrix. And then Trinity is the embodiment of the Holy Spirit, which helps Neo basically accomplish everything. It's his motivation for doing so. But that's the Matrix
Your mind
episode.
is going to change once you watch the fourth one. Well, and actually the third one.
Well, I think that's the problem with the fourth one because apparently...
Well, you don't know the problem with the fourth one yet because you haven't even watched the third one.
Fuck them. The machines are going to win.
Third one's good.
I don't know. I never saw the third one, so we'll see. But anyway, watch Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And then I guess check us out from now on Saturday nights.
Spit out our credentials. Check us out.
As always, you can check us out on YouTube. If you've missed the live stream, it is on there in perpetuity unless they flag us, in which case you can see it on any of the number of audio platforms, including but not limited to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Now, and now you can check out all the episodes of the Average Intelligence Podcast on Amazon Music. So if you have an Amazon Echo Dot, Echo whatever, or Google Podcast too, so you can be like,
Hey Google, play the Average Intelligence Podcast.
Sorry, I don't understand.
we're on there, I promise. He just
Hey Google, play the Average Intelligence Productions Podcast.
I looked for the Average Intelligence Productions podcast on Spotify, but it either isn't available or can't be played right now.
Oh, because it's trying to play it on Spotify.
yeah, but it's on Google Podcast too.
Know.
I don't know.
Whatever.
He does it.
It works. The problem.
Yes, the deep south. Okay, anyway, and then you can also check out our official merchandise store where you can get such treasures as the AOC Kiss the Ass t-shirt.
I was sick for weeks, and I got fat, and I
can't wear it.
I was gonna wear it. It is what it is.
You can also check out merchandise, the official Average Intelligence Podcast t-shirt featuring our mascot, the great ape up in the corner there. They also have the full Arete Media t-shirt as well as merchandise from the Down the Middle podcast if you are a pro wrestling fan. And as always, check us out weekly. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. If you have any topic suggestions, just let us know in the comments below and we will consider it. Probably do it because we're whores.
Also, comment and we will chat with you.
Yes, because we're whores. I think that was it. I think that's the whole spiel.
Yep. Good night and God bless. Garf, garf, garf.